Has anyone else noticed how much more raunchy TV shows are these days? Abby, is it just me? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Bukola, and this is Bukola's Corner. I'm sure from the teaser you already know what we're going to be talking about today. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, one of the things that made me want to film this video was the fact that I find it hard to watch movies. Like, I can be on Netflix, for example, for 15-20 minutes and I can't find a movie to watch, or I can't. In fact, first of all, like the thumbnail of the movie is already suggesting this is going to be a very spicy slash raunchy movie. So I'm just like, heck no. And there are tens of hundreds of movies that are like that. And then I realized that even other streaming platforms, it's gotten so hard for me to sit down comfortably and watch a movie, or watch a movie and then not skip, because at some point there I'm already invested in the storyline, and then the raunchy scene, we're going to be using raunchy or raunch in place of the. Yeah. So I realized that, I have to fast forward, I have to skip, and all of a sudden I'm no longer interested, and then I just click off. And it's becoming bothersome. And I begin to realize that this might not just be all a coincidence. It was not always like this. It was not always so raunchy. It was never always so, sexual. It wasn't always hammered on or emphasized like that in movies. I remember growing up, even this Disney Channel that we all love, Nickelodeon that we all love, there were certain shows that my parents didn't allow me to watch because there were kissing scenes in there, and it's not even adults, it's teenagers, like teenagers at that time that would act out such things, and my parents were like, this is not for kids, this is not for you, things like that. Find something else to watch, even though when you're a child, rebellion and all of that, but I've changed. Anyways, but then, even something as simple or as light as a peck, because in teenage shows, they're not necessarily going at it. I don't remember any popular series that were constantly going at it. That would be weird. But things like that, we were not even allowed to watch them. And that's how cautious my parents were about certain scenes in movies and TV shows. And I think that even actual movies where they will suggest something like that, it's like, again, suggestive. They wouldn't really like show the whole thing. They will suggest that this is what happened, and you really want to do the 2 plus 2 to figure out if that's actually what exactly happened. Even shows like Z World, if you know, they were in peak romance, even though they were cringe. They are cringe now thinking about it. The whole weird acting and stuff like that, but they will act out romantic scenes and all of that stuff, and there would be not even as close as kiss, not even as close as kiss. They don't used to kiss. That's how sensitized it was, and I think that the bodies that are in charge of approving these films and all of that stuff, I don't think that they are doing a good job as before. And another thing that suggested romance back in the day in comparison to now is that where you would tell that there was chemistry, there was romance and all of that things through dialogue, through conversations, through interactions. But now, how do you know that there's chemistry? Is that, oh, they're already in each other's mouths, they're already like going at it and all of that stuff, and it's so crazy. And I personally feel like it is deliberate. It is part of the agenda to desensitize human beings to things that they should be sensitive to, is to over sexualize human beings. Human beings are already sexual as it is, and the movie industry today has taken full advantage of that aspect of humanity and exploited it so much that people can literally watch a movie, like a whole sex scene where they are actually actively going at it, and they are not even batting an eye, and it's just like a regular scene. That in itself is a problem, because why is it that I'm watching a movie and I can't tell if I'm on Netflix or if I'm on a funny website? It's borderline core. Why can't I watch a movie and not be scared that the next scene is going to be crazy or something? I'm telling you, I remember watching the movie and the first scene right after the whole like intro and all of that stuff was it was two people. I don't want to be too visual or too, but it was two people going at it, and I'm like, hey, even all these popular movies. I'm not gonna name their names. I saw the teaser on Instagram, teaser, and it was just a lot. It was just a lot. Again, I feel like it's deliberate. It's an agenda to desensitize. There's too much freedom when it comes to talking about all of these things, and again, it has that shock value. It sells. That is why the porn industry is still in markets, because it sells. So I feel like today's movies are glorified. It's just glorified corn at this point. So I remember touching on the mind and why many people struggle with things like this, because movies like that, or movies that heavily promote such scenes, they are, I'm trying to avoid too much use of the word because I don't want this video to get censored. They are triggers, especially for people that are battling loss. I'm talking now from a believer's perspective, that are battling loss, that are battling negative sexual thoughts and all of that stuff. And as a Christian, even as a human being, what you watch consistently shapes your thoughts, your perspective to life, your desires. Is either what you watch increases a certain desire or reduces it? Does it leave you feeling refreshed or leaves you feeling heavy or dirty? If you look at Philippians chapter 4 verse 8, even the Bible tells us, what to actually focus our attention on. The Bible was so futuristic, whatever things that are holy, whatever things that are pure, whatever things that are just, whatever things that all of these things, if there be any virtue, think on these things. And I want to really encourage, my brothers and sisters in Christ to don't get desensitized. You should not get to a point where you are watching a movie and you are comfortably sitting through a sex scene. That's not the will of God. There's something wrong. The agenda of the enemy is to keep people in that bondage, sexual bondage. And how do they do it? You think they will come and put people doing the do in front of you? It's true what you are watching, what you are consuming. And I'll use this opportunity. To say that even Christian couples that are content creators, your husband is groping you, or you guys are doing tongue on video, and you're supposed to be Christian. It's really naughty, because I feel like if we have a responsibility to protect the heart of one another. Okay, so we're back. Sorry, I had a break in transmission. Anyways, one of the things that the enemy uses to tamper with our mind is what we expose ourselves to, what we are watching. Because I think that as Christians, we don't fully understand the power of our mind, or the level of importance, or how much weight the mind carries in our overall well-being, spiritually, physically, mentally, and otherwise. And the enemy knows that. The enemy knows the importance of things. That's why, generally speaking, one of the reasons that the enemy is able to take advantage of certain aspects of Christians is because we don't fully understand the importance of what it is that we have, or the importance of our heart, or state of our mind, the importance of our authority in Christ, things of that sort. So the enemy constantly takes advantage of it, and I feel this is one of the things that the enemy has taken advantage of, what we are watching. And I understand that films, movies, trending TV shows are one of the ways that people communicate, converse, you feel among, and all of those things. And I know that I sometimes, I felt the pressure to watch a particular film because that's what everybody's talking about. And honestly, sometimes it's really not worth it, because there's nothing. The enemy doesn't just do things just because. And as Christians, we shouldn't just do things just because, in the sense that when we're watching films, when whatever it is that we're consuming, we're like, what exactly is this thing forming inside of me? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everything you watch now cannot just be for pure entertainment. But I'm like, if this show I want to watch, what exactly is the efficacy of this show? Why can I watch this show without it stirring up lust in me, or without it putting ideas in my head, images in my mind that will linger on? We need to be careful. We need to caution each other. And I would even like to admonish parents of children, of adolescents, of teenagers. I think that we need to actually be intentional around monitoring what it is our children are watching. Certain things that they be watching, and then there comes a time where a friend that introduces them to something more explicit, things like that. So we need to curb the start of, I'm telling you, addictions and all of these things. They start they start very early. They start from the most unlikely places. So I feel like as parents, we need to actually educate, not just monitor, but educate. Put that initiative in them to be like, I don't want to be watching this. It's not, I don't want my parents to catch me watching this. I shouldn't be watching this. That's the difference. I think that's where a lot of parents get it twisted. They're like, don't watch this thing, this or that. It's not for children, but it's like educate them that you're a child of God. As a young person, as a morally upright person, this is not let them know the effect of all of these things, and then you're not just you're sensitizing them, one, and then when they are even faced with the temptation to do that, you are giving them a stronger willpower to say no or to click onto the next thing. I would like to end this video by saying, okay, how do we balance this? How do we say, so should I not watch movie at all? Well, I'm here to kind of prefer balance. I feel like there are certain shows that need to be avoided completely. It's not every show that is trendy that you need to watch. I will recommend some movie makers and some films that they watch. I love Lajuri's movies. Her movies are very nice. I like how she tells the story. It's faith based, but anybody can watch it and not feel like, oh, they're like how when I meet anybody, it's like you can, it's any like a group of people can watch it, even if you're in the midst of people that are like unbelievers, they will still find it interesting. Do you understand? And then I watched this series by Pastor Mildred. That's another movie that's really good. There are even filmmakers and storytellers that are not necessarily Christians, but they still produce good movies, decent TV shows. If you're like me, that likes comedy and things like that. So those are good movies to watch. I think that it's worth the hard work. It's worth the hard work. Yeah, I think I'll be closing up this video. I think I was all over the place in this video. I'm still trying to get back on my groove and all of that stuff. I know I've been away for a while, I know, but I plan to be back better. So please tell me what you think in the comment section. Do what to like, share, subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for sticking with me. If you watch this video, I really appreciate seeing the fact that I haven't posted a video in a long time. Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and stay tuned for my next video. So turn on your post notifications so that when I post a new video, you'll be notified. All right, thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye.